2020 has been a very difficult and a turbulent year for the entire world. And Bharat has also faced the same challenges. But Bharat is now moving into a very different kind of a world where there's so much uncertainty. There's so much of disruption in, be it geopolitically, economically, in so many different dimensions of life. I want to have your thoughts on what some of the guiding principles, guiding ideas should be for Bharat as we step into a completely new decade, and given the kind of uncertainties that we are living in right now.
Excellent. We are blessed. We are so blessed. We have a wonderful idea which Adi Shankaracharya ji, he enshrined into his Nirvan Shatkam. And it's Mano Buddha Ahankara Chittani Naham, etc., etc. It basically says that I am not an identity. I am Atma, wrapped in a garment of thoughts and feelings, enclosed in a body. Okay? And we don't value the thoughts and the feelings like everybody else does, because we know they're transient. And we know that once you manage to negotiate them, the essence of what you are is Anand. And everything else just gets in the way of a continuous experience of Anand. Now, if you look across the world, what you will find is that there are power bases which are built upon identity. It's a battle of identities. Now we know, anybody who does sadhana knows that the individual identity is a ghost. It's a fabrication. It's maya. It is, in its essence, it's an illusion. It doesn't exist. You know, we talk about the identity, ahamkara, being the moon shining with the reflected light of the sun, because it has no light of its own. So if we look across the world, we will see that the rest of the world outside of Bharat, except in places like Africa, except in the indigenous colonies of Australia, and indeed the indigenous people of America, all of those indigenous civilizations had a very dharmic and real understanding of the earth and who they were. But for the last 400 years or so, we have had a European, Euro-Christian civilization which has been spawning identity politics. In order to divide, you need to give people different identities. You will call one group Dravidian, the others Aryan, and you've got a battle of identities underway. So what the world is laboring under is the time when those identities grabbed power. The colonial decades are the decades when the world order, the world's global institutions, the world's economic institutions, all of them are based upon the reality of identity and identity conflict. And what we're seeing now is a breakdown because it's asat. It cannot last for long. It has no fuel to sustain itself because all the fuel comes from the anand of the atma. And so it's a bunch of ideas which have been institutionalized and then proliferated. And that is now falling apart. We have seen it in Brexit. The UK leaving is the first of the European identity collapsing. And what we will see is those old national identities beginning to flower again. People talking about their pagan traditions, about their cultures, all of that has got to come back. And then we will see the appearance of real diversity. Now, what we need to do as Bharat is we need to teach people that it is possible for diversity and unity to coexist. We have done it. And that is the only way in which it can exist. So the only uncertainty is a question of whether this Euro-Christian civilizational house of cards will fall quickly or slowly, and when it falls, where will the pieces fall? And how can we minimize the suffering of what happens when this does fall? So I don't see any great uncertainty in this. This is part of the natural process of being a human society on the earth. You know, we're enjoying a period now when we can see that 1,000 years of human suffering, so many lives lost in their billions over the last 1,000 years to the nonsense of identity war, that there is a chance for that to stop. The effort is there for us to do. Samudra Manthan is going it's on all the time, isn't it, right? The Manthan is there, the Rakshas, the Asurs, they've been busy pulling the tail for a long, long time. It's only the devas who have just actually thought, "ठीक है, हम तो साधना में बैठे हैं, हम मस्त हैं." Right? We need to realize that we need to step up and grab our side, and then we should participate in the churn. And when the vish appears, as it is appearing, the poison that comes, the only people who can hold it are those who have an understanding of what Shivji is, consciousness. We can hold it, and then we have to get the nectar, or we have to make sure we get it. Otherwise, the churn will carry on. So if you look at what's going on in the world according to our Dharma Shastras, this is nothing new. It's just not happened on this scale for a long period of time. We know how to deal with this. We just need to get up, get out, and start to get engaged. That's what the world is waiting for.
Indeed.
Just think for one moment, one Swami Vivekananda on his own shifted the compass of spirituality in the United States. One person. We've seen one Prime Minister Narendra Modi shift the direction of Bharatiya evolution and civilization. So all we need to produce is 30 or 40 more people like that, send them out into the world, and this could be resolved in 5 or 6 years. And then we would be back to a wonderful, wonderful earth. So I'm very positive about it. The only thing that we need to do is for Bharatiyas and for Sanatanis to get up and engage. And as Krishnji said to Arjun, you have to get in the battle. We can't sit on the sidelines feeling depressed. That's the only thing left, and I'm confident we're all going to do it.
Namaste. We hope you enjoyed this Chitti Media content. Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.